Hi there. Welcome back to Old Tavern Farm. I'm Lee Sharon, and this is my disaster zone. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are deep into the very first household renovation project, big project that we can get our teeth into of 2022. So this is our sitting room, and you've seen a little bit of this. This is not a room that you see very often in my videos, and I apologize for the lighting. It's snowy outside, and when in this house, when it snows, the light just bounces right back in, and therefore I am in deep shadow, which may not be a bad thing. Still, this is my disaster zone. So while I'm back up here, I'll show you. You can see the sofa is covered with curtains. The piano's got junk on it. Over here behind me, this is my china hutch over here. My work cabinet is over here. There's a whole bunch of furniture off camera where you can't see it. So this room is part of the original tavern and is just one big room, and this is probably where people gathered and ate and things like that. So it's a really huge room. It's 14 by 14 by 20 or something like that. I've got another probably 5 feet beyond me here. So the theme for this room, I'm not quite sure, but so far the theme for this room is Jane Austen meets Mackenzie Childs Courtly Chuck. So I want to keep the Regency vibe going on in here, but the walls are going to a deep sage green, and the window surrounds here, right here. The window, let's see, it's going backwards. The window surrounds are going into a sort of pale sage green. And then the windows themselves, the mullions, are going to go into sort of a wheat color. And I want it to be whimsical, but I want it to also be, I want to see if I can back up a little bit and put myself in some better light. There's stuff all over the floor. So, okay, let me move that. All right. So I want it to be whimsical, but I also want it to have a little bit of a Regency vibe. But I want it to be bright. And this room, as you can see right over here, is the only room in this house that has wall-to-wall carpet. This wall-to-wall carpet was probably put in the early 50s, late 40s, early 50s, and it's never left the house. Yeah. It's still in great shape. All jokes aside, it's in great shape. It's wool, but it's time for it to retire. So that's where we're going with this room. We're not going to do anything other than paint. And as you can see, the walls are so old. This room has not been painted probably since the carpet was put in the late 40s, early 50s. And so I've had to go through each window mullion, and let me just bring you over. Come with me. I'm gonna switch you around so you can kind of see where I have been working on the window mullions. You can see the state that these window mullions were in. So really, really horribly tragic. Tragic shape. But, and again, I'm stepping in paint chips right now, so I'm just trying to give you an idea of how bad the windows were and how much work I have already put in. So the room looks a little like a disaster zone, but I'm really trying hard to get these windows put back to right and get the wood sealed up and, do it right. So these are my tools of choice, a sanding block and a little paint stripper. So these other two windows were also just as in bad shape, and so it's taken a while. But this is the room. This is the carpet that I told you about. Again, let me see if I can get into some better lighting. So now that I've gotten my camera to adjust to the light in here, I can show you what the carpet, the old carpet looks like. It's actually so old that you can see where there's seams right there. There's a seam right there, and there's another seam right there. The wall-to-wall concept was pretty brand new back when this carpet was laid, and so they had to sew together strips of carpet to make it actually wall-to-wall. So that's a little historic blurb about this house, but we're going to go back in with modern rug padding. We're going to get a nice thick pad and a nice deep plush pile, and this is the only room in the house that has carpet in it, and we like to have one room where we can just kind of cozy up and talk on the phone and stuff like that. This is a sitting room. There's no electronics in here. There's just my work cabinet over there that I keep all my baking supplies in. And this over here is the grandchildren's toy chest. And that's all there is in here. So this is a sitting room. My piano's in here, and that's it. So we keep this room kind of quiet, and that's also the vibe. My color scheme is coming from my beloved Gypsy Caravan furniture that I have that I think you've seen before. This is the chair and a half that I use to sit in when I talk on the phone, which I don't very often do. But my parents and my sister live a long way away, so I curl up in this when I'm chatting with them. And yeah, so this is the sofa version of this. There's a chair and a half and a sofa. The sofa is in the other room. But so this is my first project of 2022, and I wanted to share it with you guys so that when I show you the finished version, you guys can appreciate the difference. I'm hoping to finish this by next week. It's really just paint, and then we will get the carpet laid at a later date. So there you go. It's your first tour of the first project, and as always, I want to thank you guys so much for visiting, and I want to give you big hugs. Hug, hug, hug. Remember that from back in the day? I can't believe I've been doing this for a year and a half. I've made 103. This is the 103rd video I've made in 18 months since all this balderall started way back in the day. But again, thanks for coming along with me. I'll have an update on our pork order. Everything went fine with that, and yeah, so welcome to 2022. Let her rip. Bye-bye. And I'm standing in the middle of a disaster zone and say that my hair looks terrible. And boy, does my face look red. I mean, it always looks red, but okay, so.